Hello everybody, and thank you so much for watching. Today we will make this picket fence necklace. It's made with 4 colors, super fine yarn and a 1.5mm hook. First we make the fence, then the green leaves, and then the pink flowers. Let's start by making our fence. Make a chain of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now let's start the first row of our repeating pattern, and this pattern has 2 rows. Count 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the 6th chain, make a double crochet. And we will make 5 double crochet in the first row. 1 double crochet, and into the next chain make the second one. And into the next chain make the third one. And into the next chain the fourth one. And the fifth one into the last chain. At the end of the row, we always make 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn your work, and now we start the second row of our repeating pattern. Into the first double crochet, make a double crochet. Chain 1, skip the next stitch. Into the third double, make the second double crochet. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, and into the last double crochet make a double crochet. So we have 3 double crochet with chain spaces in between. At the end of the row we always chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we will start again with row 1, which is 5 double crochet. Turn your work. Into the first double crochet, make your first double. The second one into the chain space. The third one into the second double of the previous row. The fourth one into the chain space. And the last and 5th double crochet into the double crochet. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn your work and then start row 2 again, which is the row with the 3 doubles and the chain spaces. Make a double crochet in the first double. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and make a double into the third double. Chain 1, skip the next double and into the last double crochet of the previous row make a double crochet. Then repeat row 1 and 2 again. Chain 5, turn your work and make a double into the first double crochet, the second one into the chain space, the third one into the double, the fourth one into the chain space, and the 5th one into the double. Chain 5, start row 2 again, turn your work, make a double into the first double. Chain 1, make a double into the next double. Chain 1 and make the double into the last double crochet. Now you can repeat row 1 and 2. I repeated this pattern 22 times and added 1 more row 1 at the end. So altogether I have 45 rows. So at the end, when you put it into a circle, we have rows 1 together. It looks prettier this way. Now we will put the markers for the leaves. Put your necklace right side up. Then I skipped the first chain space and put a marker. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4 chain spaces. Into the 5th one I put a marker. Then again 1, 2, 3, 4 chain spaces into the fifth one a marker, 1, 2, 3, 4 chain spaces into the fifth one a marker, 1, 2, 3, 4 chain spaces, and into the fifth one a marker. And my last chain space is empty. You can add 4 or 6 rows to make this necklace longer. If you add 4 rows, then instead of 1 chain space at the end, you would have another chain space on each side. So you have 2 on this side and then 2 on that side. Now if you want to make your necklace shorter, you could leave out 4 rows, and then you would have the marker here. That would be your end, and on the other side that would be your end. So you would start your marker in the first chain. But the important part is in between the chains, or in between the markers where our leaves go, there should be 1, 2, 3, 4 empty chain spaces. Now we will crochet the dark green part and make the leaves where the markers are. And I will use a little sample here with the white color, so it's easier for you to see the stitches. Here's the beginning of my necklace. The yarn is in the lower right corner. And now I will make 6 single crochets into the chain space of 5. Pull your new color through, make a chain, and then make 6 single crochets into the chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then into the next space, that's our double crochet, make a slip stitch. And here's our first marker, and I will single crochet 3, and then we will start the leaves. 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the chain space of 5. And now we start with the leaves. Both leaves are made the same way. Chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then skip over the first loop and into the second chain, only into the top chain, make a single crochet. Then make 4 consecutive doubles into the next top loop, the first one. Then the second one into the next loop. And into the next chain, the third one. Double crochet the third double, then the fourth double into the next chain. We have 1 chain left, make a single crochet into that chain. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now turn your work clockwise, so we can crochet up to the tip of the leaf on the other side. We made our single crochet into this stitch. Now we will make a single crochet as well. So here's the single, you can see it goes into that stitch. Make a single crochet, and you have 2 threads from the chain on your hook. Make the single crochet, and now we have to make 4 doubles, 1, 2, 3, 4 into the previous doubles. Here's our first double, and make your first double into that, and you have 2 threads on your hook. Then the second double, it's going into this stitch, and again through 2 threads on the hook from the chain, make the double, and the third double, and you have 2 threads again, and the fourth double. Next to the double crochet is our single crochet. Here's our double that we just made. Right next to it is our single crochet. Make a single, also 2 threads on the hook, make the single crochet and chain 2. Turn your work again clockwise. Now we will work our way on the other side back down. We will make 8 slip stitches. The first one into the top loop of the single crochet. Make a slip stitch, 1, and then into the next stitch top loop, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we will make 2 single crochets around the stem of the leaf. You can hold on to your leaf with your thumb and your finger, and around the stem from the front to the back make the single crochet and another single crochet. Then make a single crochet around the chain of 5 and start the second leaf. This leaf is made the same way as the first leaf. Chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip the very first loop into the second top loop, make the single crochet. Then 4 doubles into the next 4 top loops. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Into the last chain, make a single crochet. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Turn your work clockwise. Into the single crochet, make the single crochet. Into the first double, make the double. Then into the second one, make the double and make a double into the third double crochet. Always have the 2 pieces of yarn from the chain. And the fourth one, the fourth double. Next to the double we just made, make the single crochet into the single crochet. Chain 2. Turn your work clockwise again and work your way down to the stem with 8 slip stitches. The first one into the top loop of the single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then make the 2 single crochet around the stem. Hold the leaf from the front to the back, pull your yarn through and make the single crochet. And again make another single crochet around the stem. Now make 2 single crochet around the chain space of 5. 1 and 2. So we have 6 single crochet. The first 2, then the third and the fourth have the leaves, and then the 5th and the 6th into the chain again. We have 5 spaces with the double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where we make slip stitches, and we have the 4 spaces with the chains. 1, 2, 3, 4 chain spaces where we make 6 single crochet. Where the double is, we make our slip stitch, so make your slip stitch into that space. Then make 6 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then into the double crochet, slip stitch again, then into the chain space of 5, 6 singles again, then slip stitch into the double crochet, then 6 singles around the chain space of 5, then slip stitch into the double, 6 singles into the chain space of 5, and then the last slip stitch around the double crochet before we get to the marker. And at the marker we repeat our 2 leaves. Start your second pair of leaves where the next marker is. Make 2 singles into the chain space of 5. Where the third single is, make the first leaf. Into the fourth single, make the second leaf, and then 2 more singles into the chain space. Then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slip stitches into the doubles, and the 6 singles into the 1, 2, 3, 4 chain spaces, and then you can start the 2 petals again where the next marker is, just the same way we did before. Now we will make this flower with 12 petals. Start by making a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slip stitch into the very first loop, and we will kind of make a magic ring, but we will cheat a little bit on this magic ring. It's easier this way. Chain 1, and then into the ring and around this loose piece, your end, make a single crochet. So crochet around that loose end as well. We need to make 12 singles, so we have to make 11 more, and always into the ring and around that loose piece of yarn. 2, 3, 4. Make 12 singles into the ring and around the yarn. I've made 12 single crochets around the yarn and into the circle. Now I want to avoid the seam. Take your hook out of the loop and go into your first single crochet over your working yarn from the back to the front. Go through that single crochet and then pull the loop through. Go into the loop and pull it from the front to the back. And now you can pull the yarn tight and create that magic ring. And now we have to make 24 singles, so 2 singles into each stitch. Chain 1 and into the first stitch, the first single, but only into the top loop. Make 2 singles, 1 and the second one into the same stitch. Then go into the next top loop and make 2 singles. So every stitch get 2 singles. Go into the next top loop and make 2 singles. That way we have 24 singles at the end of the round. And finish this round the same way. Take your loop out of the hook and then go over your working yarn into the first single crochet from the back to the front. Pull the loop through. And now we can start a new color. Now we will start our 12 petals. Take a new color and pull it through. Then chain 2, 1, 2. Now we will make 2 unfinished doubles together. Double crochet into the first top loop of the stitch, the first stitch. Pull through and pull through 2. You have 2 loops on the hook. Go through the next stitch, only the top loop, and make another unfinished double. Pull through once and then through 2 loops. You have 3 loops on the hook. Pull through all 3. We always make 2 stitches into every stitch. So now we need a second stitch. Chain 3. That counts as a double, and make that second stitch into that second single. Make a slip stitch, and that's our first petal. So we have 2 unfinished doubles in here and then 2 doubles in here, altogether 4. Go to the next top loop, make a slip stitch, and we start our second petal. Chain 2, 1, 2, make an unfinished double into the same stitch. You have 2 loops on the hook. Then go to the next stitch and make an unfinished double crochet. Pull through 2 loops. Now you have 3 loops on the hook. Pull through all 3, make a chain of 3 and a slip stitch into the same stitch where we made the double. Let's make another petal together. Go to the next top loop, make a slip stitch, chain 2, make an unfinished double into the same stitch, then make an unfinished double into the next stitch. Pull through all 3 loops, make a chain of 3 and slip into the same stitch. Make 6 petals all together like the first 3 we made. So all together we make 6, and into the 7th we will connect to our first leaf. I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 petals. The 7th petal we will not finish all the way. Go into your next stitch and start the 7th petal with a slip stitch, chain 2, make an unfinished double into the same stitch and an unfinished double into the next stitch. Pull through all 3 loops. Place your necklace right side up. Here's the beginning of the necklace. Here's the first pair of leaves. Here's the second pair of leaves. I grab the leaf to the right. I make sure it's right side up. Now I turn it to the wrong side from the right to the left. And I connect my flower, my first petal, or my 7th petal I should say. Here's the chain of 2, and underneath that is a little bar. Those are all little bars from our chains. Into the first bar underneath the chain, go from the front to the back and from the back to the front around that little bar and make the slip stitch through the leaf and then through the petal. And now we can finish the 7th petal with 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and a slip stitch into the same stitch where we made the double. The next petal will not get connected, so we just make a regular petal. Go into the next stitch, make a slip stitch, chain 2, into the same stitch make an unfinished double, into the next stitch make an unfinished double, pull through all 3 loops, chain 3 and make a slip stitch into the same stitch where you made the double. Our 9th petal will get connected to the 1, 2, 3 to the 3rd arch. Start your 9th petal the same way, make a slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 2, make an unfinished double into the same stitch and into the next stitch. Then pull through all 3 loops. Now turn your work clockwise so your necklace is laying vertically. And now you can see the 4 arches, 1, 2, 3. Grab the 3rd arch and turn it over to the wrong side. Here are 6 single crochets, 3 on the left, 3 on the right. Go into the middle, right around the chain and make a slip stitch into the chain and into the petal. And we can finish our petal. 1, 2, 3 chains and a slip stitch into the same stitch where we made a double. Now we will connect our next petal to the 2nd arch. Let's start the 10th petal. Go to the next stitch, make a slip stitch, chain 2, make an unfinished double into the same stitch and the unfinished double into the next stitch. Pull through all 3 loops. Then go to the second arch, 1, 2, and turn it over to the wrong side. And then go again between the 3 single crochets on the left and the 3 single crochets on the right. And I want my yarn to be on top this way. And then make the slip stitch through the chain and through the petal. Then you can turn it back around and look, this was our 10th petal. The 11th petal doesn't get connected, and you can turn your work a little bit so it's easier to work on the flower. So now I have everything kind of upside down. And we can finish this petal, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and make a slip stitch into the same stitch where we made the double. The 11th petal doesn't get connected, so we just make a regular petal, make a slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 2, make an unfinished double into the same stitch, and an unfinished double into the next stitch. Pull through all 3 loops, chain 3, make a slip stitch into the same stitch where you made the double. Now we will start the 12th and last petal. Go into the next stitch, make a slip stitch, chain 2, make an unfinished double into the same stitch and into the next stitch. That's our last stitch. Pull through all 3 loops. Here are our first 2 leaves. Here's our second leaf. Turn that leaf over to the wrong side and then go into the first bar. It's underneath the chain. And I like to have my yarn on the right side. Go through that little bar, make a slip stitch, and make a slip stitch through the petal. Chain 3 to finish the petal, and make a slip stitch where the double crochet is. And I finish this flower with a slip stitch into the very first chain on the first leaf. My necklace has 4 flowers. They are all done the same way. Start your new flower. Make 6 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Connect the 7th to the leaf on the left. Leave the 8th one empty. Connect the 9th and the 10th one to the bottom. Leave the 11th petal empty. And then connect the 12th one to the leaf on the right. And the arches 1 and 4 are also empty, and you can do all these flowers the same way we did the first one. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.